Thank you for tuning in to our channel. If you haven't done so yet, please like this video and subscribe to this channel to receive updates on when we post new material. Now, let us dive into our lesson, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. This verse stands as a beacon, illuminating the very essence of faith. It's a verse that has resonated with believers for centuries, offering guidance and inspiration. We read, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." These words, though few, carry profound meaning. They invite us to explore the depths of faith to understand its power and its implications for our lives. Faith is not a fleeting feeling or a whimsical notion. It is the bedrock upon which we build our lives. This verse sets the stage for the remarkable chapter that follows. Hebrews 11, often called the Hall of Faith, presents a tapestry of heroes who lived by faith. Their stories inspire us. They challenge us to embrace the fullness of faith. Faith, it's a word often used and sometimes misunderstood. Some reduce it to mere intellectual assent. They believe something is true because they've been told it's true, but true faith delves deeper. It goes beyond a simple acknowledgement of facts. It's not enough to say, "We believe in God." Even demons believe in God and they tremble, as mentioned in James chapter 2, verse 19. True faith requires more than just belief. It demands trust, a confident reliance on God's character and promises. This trust isn't blind. It's rooted in the knowledge of God's faithfulness as revealed in His Word and through His actions. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 tells us that faith is the substance of what we hope for. This means faith gives form and substance to our hopes, transforming them from mere wishes into confident expectations. But faith doesn't stop there. It's not passive. It's not a matter of sitting back and waiting for things to happen. Faith is active. It compels us to act on what we believe. This is where the evidence of things not seen comes in. Our actions become the visible proof of our unseen faith. We trust in God's promises and we live as if they are already true. Let's turn our attention to Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6. "But without faith it is impossible to please Him. For he who comes to God must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him." This verse highlights a crucial aspect of faith. It pleases God. Our faith is not just for our benefit. It brings joy to our Creator. Why? Because faith demonstrates our dependence on Him. It shows that we recognize Him as the source of all good things. Furthermore, this verse emphasizes the importance of seeking God diligently. Faith is not static. It's a journey of drawing closer to God, of seeking His face and His will for our lives. A leap into the unknown. Imagine standing at the edge of a precipice. Before you lies a chasm, deep and wide. You can't see the other side, but you hear a voice calling you forward. This is often what it feels like to live by faith. We're called to step out in obedience, even when we don't have all the answers. It's a leap into the unknown, trusting that God will catch us. This is the kind of faith demonstrated by the heroes of Hebrews 11. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't have a map or a guarantee of success, but they trusted God and stepped out in faith. The faith of a father. I think of Abraham, called to leave his homeland and journey to a land he had never seen. As mentioned in Hebrews 11, verse 8, he didn't argue with God or demand a detailed itinerary. He simply obeyed, trusting that God would guide his steps. Then there's Noah, who built an ark in the middle of a drought, as described in Hebrews 11, verse 7. He had never seen rain, let alone a flood. But he believed God's warning and obeyed, even when it seemed foolish to the world around him. These stories and the countless others in Hebrews 11 remind us that faith requires courage. It means trusting God even when everything within us screams for certainty. Transformation through trust. The beauty of faith is that it doesn't just please God, it transforms us. As we learn to trust God more deeply, we experience His faithfulness in tangible ways. Our fears begin to subside, replaced by a quiet confidence in His presence. Our anxieties lessen as we cast our cares upon Him, knowing He cares for us, as it says in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Faith doesn't exempt us from trials. It doesn't mean life will be easy, but it does give us the strength to face those trials with courage and hope. Living out our faith isn't always easy. We will face doubts. We will encounter challenges that test the very core of our beliefs. But it's in those moments that our faith is refined. It's like a muscle that grows stronger with each challenge. Remember, faith is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey of trusting God, seeking His will, and acting on what we believe. It's in the everyday moments, the small acts of obedience, that our faith shines brightest. Faith's enduring impact. The legacy of those who have gone before us in faith is a testament to its enduring impact. Their stories inspire us, their courage emboldens us, and their faithfulness challenges us to live lives worthy of our calling. We are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, as Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 reminds us. May we, like them, run our race with endurance, keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, as stated in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Their examples remind us that true faith leaves an indelible mark on the world, not through grand gestures, but through lives lived in quiet surrender to God's will. A call to deeper faith. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 and verse 6 offer a profound challenge and an even greater promise. The challenge is to move beyond a superficial understanding of faith. It's a call to embrace a faith that is active, a faith that trusts God completely and compels us to live in obedience to His word. But within this challenge lies a promise of God's presence, His power, and His peace. As we step out in faith, even when we can't see the path ahead, we can be confident that God is with us, guiding our steps and leading us toward His perfect will. Let us therefore approach the throne of grace with boldness, knowing that He who promised is faithful, as it says in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16.